Morning, guys. This is the Different Generations podcast where we discuss what was going on with Braxton on the ride back over here from getting our delicious tea to go, tea energy. Be right back after a word from our sponsor. Contract for deed isn't illegal, but
This live stream is brought to you by GBT Property Management. Over to you.
just a reminder that you can go to roughneck2 realestate.com and get all your real estate loans. Braxton, what happened?
For me, another day at the office.
Seems like you made some bad decisions. You're like, hey, let's go eat here. And then it affected you in a way that made us all regret it.
I mean, it's something I live with on a daily basis. I picked some delicious Mexican food for lunch. I would make the same choice.
I don't know
again and again.
I don't know what happened. Am I on the big loudspeaker up top? No, I'm not. Okay. So, different generations. Well, I've got some interesting stuff. Spoonie, what happened in the political world since we've been gone for the last month?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. There's so many things.
Like what?
I don't know. Trump's he got messed up in court there. You know, I didn't read into it and didn't really care that much.
What?
Didn't he lose the lawsuit in court? Or he got convicted of something? Doesn't matter.
I don't remember that. What about you, Braxton?
I think he went to court over something. I don't know much about it. I think he's been polling up.
I mean,
Old Trump dog.
Went to court because the lady accused him of molesting her.
Yeah, he lost a civil case for SA.
Ooh, rough day. Spoonie, what about old Target? Your favorite store?
Target?
Yeah.
Don't they have a new product that you were just hyped to tell us about?
I was trying to get one of them swimsuits where I could really
What were you going to do with this
live
one?
my best. I was going to wear it in the fashion that it was supposed to be worn, but my wife said I was not allowed to do that. She said that's not.
Do you think you could wear it in the fashion
No,
it's supposed to be?
no. Like there's no way for me to tuck myself into a swimsuit. Dude.
I still want to see it.
I thought it'd be, it's whatever.
Ryan, you can go ahead and bring it out. Ryan, I hit you with that surprise. We got one here in studio.
Oh, I hope it's a small size. I want an extra small.
We left it up to Ryan what size he got, and he's going to bring it out, and you can put it on over here to the side, and then we're going to go camera 2 here on the re-entry.
I don't think I'll be able to do that. Not because I won't do it. I think y'all all know I will, but for the love of my wife and her.
She don't want to see your front butt?
I just don't think she wants that out there. So I will abstain from that today.
Okay. Well,
I think
I would like to see Ryan in it though.
strong.
Why'd you just gasp? Like somebody stole your breath. Like
A lot of man there, not a lot of swimsuit, so I don't know. But
who do you think could win in a sumo fight between Ryan and DJ?
Ryan and manhandle him.
You think so?
Dude, he used to
I
hold
agree.
people up by one hand. He's got arms like my legs.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that matters. I think it's more of he's just been around the block a couple more times than DJ, and that's it.
And he's a Marine.
So he might have some primal instincts in there.
Yeah.
He
fought
did
before.
combatives in the Marines.
And you got to think Ryan don't get to get it out much. You know what I mean? He don't, like DJ's out there somewhere right now, just tearing something up with a piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan never gets to just pummel anything.
Oh,
So it might be DJ's bad. It might be a bad day for DJ. But either way,
Might need to set that up though.
yeah, we need to a little celebrity fight. We discovered something yesterday, Spoon. I don't think you were a part of it, but we discovered that Braxton's generation constantly shares locations with their significant others. Is that something you do?
Mm-hmm.
What?
my wife. And if I'm going in a sketch place, like the place that the dude that was going to rape you, I always send my location before I go in those places.
But not send it.
So the difference of sending like a pin.
Yeah, I
where
share
you're
my
at,
location with my wife.
All the time.
Indefinitely.
24/7. Indefinitely.
Yep.
Do you have her
When did that
location?
start? When?
I don't know. We both started doing it. I don't know. like after we got married sometime.
Was it ever a discussion, or was it just like one day it's like,
No, we discussed it. I don't remember what brought it up, but it isn't a big deal to me. Like, seems like it's a big deal to you.
It is.
And me and my sister both had my dad for a while, which is good because we always keep tabs where he was at. I think she's still tracking him.
see, that's what I don't like.
It's bad.
I don't know. And it's like, there's the argument that, oh, it's just, if you're not doing anything you're not supposed to, you shouldn't worry about it. It's like, it's not that. It's just, I don't like it.
I mean, there's a million ways to get around that. You just leave your phone somewhere else.
No, I shouldn't have to. Like, I don't.
I'm saying
There's no reason to.
Like, I was shocked. I was shocked whenever we asked Big Mike if he was going to come to the lake house. And he said, yeah. And I was like, is your girlfriend still in town? He's like, I don't know. Let me see. And he, like, 2 seconds later, goes, no, she's in San Marcos.
Oh, yeah. I would never do it with, like, somebody I was dating. That's weird, like, to me. I think once your spouse is, it's just different. Like, I would want, if my kids had their phone, I would want their location, too.
For what?
To know where they're at.
My dad didn't know where I was.
Yeah. Times are different.
What's
I mean,
different?
You talk about getting touched by your uncle all the time, but most of us don't want that to happen to our kids.
But knowing their location, it's like, oh, the dot just turned red. The uncle touching just started.
Like, I don't think there's a magic button for that. I'm
mean,
just saying, like, you don't want to know where your kids are. You just like,
I mean, how will I see a dot on a map and know?
That's why you hook it up to your Apple Watch to have those biometrics. So when the blood pressure goes
so
up.
we know some parents that they got their kids Apple Watches instead, so the kids can call them if they have to, if they're in a bind. They can call them off the watch.
All right,
And they know where they're at.
Time out. What about knowing somebody's location provides them with safety?
I don't know that it provides them with safety, but it provides the last place to look if you're looking for your kid.
Yeah, the last place to look. Like, yeah, it's right here. Would you just said there's a million ways to get around? If somebody's being nefarious, now if the kid just walks off and to the woods, but I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I think there's very few applications where it truly could make the difference.
I just think if you're in trouble and you're in trouble,
By the time it's to that point, like, there's nothing, me seeing a dot on the map, not being able to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Like, so say I'm tracking you and I decide that you're in danger. And so I start calling you. You don't answer. I call you 10 times. You don't answer. At what point do I say, oh, I better go check? What if your phone just died? You know, what if it's something like that? Or you are done.
Yeah.
There ain't a whole lot I can do at that point. But unless you have that intuition that, it's time to go. Like, there's virtually no, like, nothing I can do at that point in time.
True.
Other than know where your body's at.
And
they'll find that soon enough later anyways.
Yeah, or they won't. And then I'll be immortal.
Then I'll know Corey's at peace.
No,
I just sent my wife my location right now.
No, but you said you sent it to her. You share it with her all the time.
I do. I was being silly. I sent it to her.
So I agree with you, Braxton. Like, I've felt the same way. And like, okay, let me posit something. So me and my significant other shared it one time when we were trying to find each other, like in a parking lot or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I don't think we did the just like 10-minute thing. It was like indefinitely and then didn't turn it off. And it's proven useful. But before that, I would never have thought I would be okay with that. Like, I didn't like that idea. When my parents wanted that, I was like, no. But it becomes useful, and also I don't really care. But also I have that stress that, oh shit, like, if they don't answer, what do I do now? What do I do about it?
Now you're going to start worrying. Now you're going to check that location, be like, whoa, they've been there for a long time.
I love the Find My iPhone thing, sharing with my wife. She finds mine all the time. I find hers.
I think
like, that shit's super handy.
Peace of mind that humans like want, that we it doesn't make sense, but it's there, you know.
I get that.
No,
I remember when it started ours. No,
I would have a one fight limit on it, and that would be it. The relationship would be over.
I remember when it started ours. We were going to Disney World, and we started sharing it so we could find each other easier. It was just easy to find each other, like, because you're just walking around.
Well, yeah, but I've had the toxic one where it's like you gotta. Like,
yeah, that wouldn't be okay.
Well, I mean, it's like whatever. If that's what you think, that's what you think. But I'm like, I'm telling you, like, the first time I have to discuss a dot on a map with you, you're out of my life. You're the first time you show up someplace I am, because I'm someplace that I am and not someplace that you think I was supposed to be. Nope, it's over.
Showing up.
That's
my thing. It's like if I get asked about it, even if it's just joking or whatever, like, oh, what you doing there? You know, like, nope. I don't like it. And so I get like Sohail, like what you said, and Spoonie, at very, very practical applications that just kind of stuck or never went away. Which I get that, but it's just, I don't know. Personally, I just think about it like you either trust me or you don't. But
if that's the conversation, if it's like about worrying about a conversation about hold on, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get that tea.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty tasty, right? It's so good.
Then you have other problems like the sharing. You know, those are going to come out in other ways.
But no, I'm just telling you.
I get that.
Like I'm not imagine being on the other side of it, where you know I'm me, and if it gets brought up, it's gone, it's over, right? And you're just sitting there with this curiosity, like, man, he's been in Richardson for a while now, you know. He's just been there.
Well, I think that's like what Sohail just said. If that insecurity exists, it's going to come out another way, even if they won't bring it up.
I know it's like
he's been. There's an issue there that isn't. I think the looking at the dot of the map.
Where did he go in McKinney today? Like he went up to McKinney. There was 2 stops. I seen him stop twice in McKinney.
What was he doing at Rose's? Why did he go that far for lunch? He passed 27 of them.
Rosa's messed you up that bad, dude?
Roses?
Look, I'm not messed up. This
he's
is normal day of
sensitive,
business.
okay?
I've got a sensitive stomach. I deal with it.
Is Roses the side chick? She's Googling Roses. You know what I mean?
Who's Roses?
She's like, oh my gosh, he's banging someone's abuelo.
Yeah, I mean, he would have had to talk. He would have had to talk to 2 people to make that happen. You would have had to talk to the first girl to get the girlfriend, and the second one to get the side piece. Yeah. That's progress.
That's right. But now you're sitting there with all that weight on your heart.
I don't think
it's KPIs.
I don't know. The only time I ever check my wife's is like when I need some, or when I wonder if she's at home right now, and I'll look see. Oh, she's in Fort Worth.
Spoon, you're a busy guy.
I don't even think about it.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah,
you're a busy guy. Imagine somebody that isn't busy. And they're just got your location to watch all day. They got your little dot, just watching it dot around, just dottering. How many places would the curiosity, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's
I'm not curious. So.
But it's like your sister.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's funny to her, but it's like, I think I have hers.
Tell the story.
I don't check it. It's like, I've gotten comments about where I'm at, pictures of cars and stuff like that. It's like,
oh, that's a little weird.
But just being funny. But it's harmless. And on the other side of it, just like, no big deal. Oh, haha, I saw it, It's like, all right, well, now you're doing it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Now you're just going to have to catch me out in the wild,
So you were sharing with her, and then she was like, sending you weird. Oh, so you stopped it. I would stop that too if my sister was doing that.
If you're somewhere and you get asked about it, like, if I'm at Whataburger for the 4th time in a day, I don't want to be. Don't guilt me about
Yeah, I mean, and Breakfast Burger was the first reason to stop by.
Exactly, and now I've got my first double cheeseburger. Now I've got my second double cheeseburger, and now it's dinner time, so I need naturally a
you ate a double cheeseburger.
Exactly, and so it's like I don't want to answer for that, and so maybe it's as simple and harmless as that. But either way, I ain't gonna. Don't bring it up to me.
But everybody, so DJ and his old lady.
Yep.
Michael and his old lady. I guess you and your wife. If you do not share your location with your spouse, let us know in the comments, or girlfriend, or whatever. Just let us know in the comments, because
for a Disney World trip, I get it. Not a big deal.
I thought it was an age thing. I thought there was like a cutoff, because I asked everybody, and then Brandon's the only one that Carrie has his location, but it's because he almost died or something.
No, I think he went out to the lake last second or something.
Yeah.
And she thought he was dead.
She went to where he was supposed to be, and he wasn't there, and he was at the lake. And so she's thought he was dead somewhere, and she couldn't find him. So she made him an account. What is it? Life 360?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway. I ain't about it, And I get there's probably, but I don't know. Even if it's as simple as you got someone coming over, seeing how far away they are. You know, I don't like it. If you're that concerned about it, ask me.
Yeah,
I'm cooking for you, so I would just want to know when you're going to be
I wouldn't
here.
even, if I called you and asked where you were, I wouldn't even believe you because it's always like, I don't know. If you were in Bandera, you'd know, or something, some weird shit. I wouldn't even care past that.
Like,
I'd just
I'm
be like,
pulling in this quick trip.
yeah,
Gotta give me some fuel.
that is it.
I don't know. If you were at my Outback Steakhouse right now, you'd know whatever it is. Like,
This is true, but I don't like giving anybody my location. It's like if people call and ask, it's like,
listen how crazy he is. The time did you have a flat on that trailer coming to my house? You had a flat or something. I'm like, what road are you on? He's like, you know what road I'm on. I'm like, I don't know what freaking road you're on. Tell me, I'll come help you. I didn't say I need your help, and you know what road I'm on. I don't. There's 14 different ways to get to my house.
I'm just like his wife.
Like,
like, no, you should look. You should know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Like, I was like, fine, just stay on the road. Click. Like, I don't.
That was it. That was our fight that week.
That's your cross to bear. Someone that doesn't want to share locations. That's fine if you're okay with it. But
yeah. And I threw Biggin's car seat into the ants, and then he was getting ate up by ants on the ride.
And he's like itchy.
Yeah, he did itchy. He wouldn't cry. He wasn't no bitch. He's a bitch now, but he wasn't a bitch then. But yeah, so
I don't know. It's just weird to me.
I thought it was a generation thing though. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just an old fossil that don't want to share my location. I don't want to share it with a lot of apps. I mean, I just don't want it to be there. Don't know.
I got no reason. I just don't like it.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of reasons. Like, let's say I pull over and I'm taking a nap. All right, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And now I'm over and I'm taking a nap. And somebody that is curious is watching my location.
You're just sitting on the frontage road.
I'm asleep. I'm getting good sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not because I got a phone call. It's like, what you?
Well, you were driving and then you stopped.
Has this happened to you?
Checking on you. Well,
have I got look? So
is this hypothetical or is it happening?
No, you can turn your phone on Do Not Disturb, right?
Yeah.
But you have a certain amount of people that you can let the call come through,
or double dial,
or you can double dial. So if you're going to pull over, take a nap, you turn on Do Not Disturb. But there's a certain amount of people you're not going to put on Do Not Disturb. Now, what are the chances that one of those people calls you? Okay, now no, it hasn't ever happened where somebody, you know what I mean, has woke me up. But imagine that being the scenario, because you're not going to turn off, your kid's mothers or any of that. I'm not going to turn off. Well, maybe I'll turn off Braxton, but if I got something going on with Braxton, I'm not going to turn it off, or Shane or anybody else. So I got a certain number of people that can call. I'm just now getting that good sleep that I need to make the rest of my 3-hour drive, and boom, I get a call, and I'm taking a pop quiz on. Are you okay? I seen you were stopped on the side of Interstate 20. I thought something was wrong.
But has that happened?
No, I don't share my location.
No, because it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make
that worry because otherwise the assumption is that he's just driving. He's fine.
I don't know. That's a weird assumption to me. Like in this scenario, because I'm always like, if I pull over to stop somewhere to sleep, I'll text my wife, "Hey, I'm pulling over to sleep right now," so she knows not to call. So maybe she's checking it to make sure I'm alive after that. But
yeah,
but also she's not expecting me at a certain time, and I show up 4 hours later. That one text solves that whole problem.
That's when you're on your way home.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being on your way anywhere. I'd be on my way out of this podcast to go to this wonderful tea place, Tea Energy. And, I get tired. I'm going to pull over and take a nap. I won't get tired today, though, because I got 3 energy shots in this lovely Tea Energy. Mm-hmm. So.
I get it. I will say, I think it does depend on the relationship. Like, if y'all are both okay with it, no big deal. But I think people also need to understand that that's not necessarily, there ain't a whole lot of benefit other than if it gives you peace of mind, it gives you peace of mind, but it ain't doing much more than that.
I think
it won't even give you peace of mind. I feel like.
I think one day there's going to be some transgression, some minor transgression that's going to grow big over watching a location of a significant other. It's just going to get brought up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're just gonna be in an argument about this, and all of a sudden you get blindsided with that time that you were supposed to be here, but you were there, and it's like, what? And you didn't even know, had no idea that there was that much data being tracked in your life, and then you're gonna have a lot to unpack, and it's gonna be hard.
Because everyone that we asked said it's no big deal, no big deal,
no big deal, no big deal
until it is. Because you never know that it's not a big deal because they got it. But then what happens if you cut it off? How long before?
It's instantaneous.
Well, no, how long before
if you turn it off right now, it'll send a message to them. So and so stop sharing.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, when's your text come? Why'd you stop sharing your location?
Oh, that would happen pretty quick.
Exactly. So it'd be like, why? And you'd be like, oh, well, the guys are giving me a hard time on the podcast. I just, it'd be like this. It'd be the equivalent of this. I'm going to leave here right now. We're going to leave the podcast, right? And the expectation is that I go home, okay? But maybe we don't go home. Maybe there's a main event on the way. Maybe we stop and go bowling. You know what I mean?
I would do that. Let's go.
Yeah. So we just stop off. It's no normal. Sometimes we go long on the podcast, so it's not even like it's extra time. We just finished the podcast early, so we're gonna do a little bowling. No big deal, right? You do a little bowling. You thinking you don't even think nothing about it. You just get home, and 4 days later, you hear about your bowling. You're like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
what are you even talking about?
What are you talking about?
You went,
and some people would say, well, you didn't bring up the bowling. Well, the bowling wouldn't be nothing to me. Like, what? Like, it would be something if I won. It'd be something if we got in a fight. It'd be something if something happened. But if all we did was hang out and bullshit around and not even, we don't drink alcohol, but just had tea and fucking snacks, it'd be like we went out to eat. There's nothing to talk about. Right. You know what I mean? It's just, that's just what happened that day. There's no reason to go home and start talking about it. You know what I mean? So 4 days later, you're just getting whopped upside the head with it. It's like, whoa, no, I ain't doing that. But I don't know. What I sent something to the group message. So Hill, do you remember that? It's been a long time ago. Hold on, let me.
While you look for that, just on this note, an estimated 81% of people in the U.S. use smartphones.
That's true.
How many do you think? Is that 81% are tracking
or sharing location with their spouse?
No.
Oh, just 81% have smartphones.
They found it important to put that.
I'd be curious. I bet most at this point share it with at least one person.
We got that Ben Shapiro video. It's in the group message.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think if both of y'all are okay with it, it may always work out and never be an issue and never be a problem, and that's great for your relationship. But I think people also got to understand that you got to respect
there's
the thing
some
about
psychology at play, huh?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't have that curiosity about knowing where you're at. I don't. But I could see myself pulling it up, right, looking at it, and jumping to conclusions. Like getting into a negative feedback
That's all you can do because you have very limited data with no context.
It's like, how do you bring this up?
So I sent it to my wife, and she just said "okay" with a question mark.
So
We're in
what?
Fort Worth. So what? Like she was like, I don't know. It was a weird thing that she didn't understand why I was randomly sending her.
There you go. Or what?
My location.
Oh, you're not in Fort Worth.
I know. It was. She just didn't understand why I randomly sent it because you enforce send my location now.
Oh yeah.
There you go. If that's the feedback that you get, you might have the perfect setup. Like I don't even.
Should your dot ever turn red because your uncle's touching you, your wife will be there. What it would be 45, 46 minutes from.
Yeah, probably an hour and 20 from.
Hour and 20 minutes after the uncle starts or possibly finishes.
Still be going.
Yeah,
I mean it's gonna be round 7.
It could be romantic and really into foreplay. So
your wife will barge in and be like, "That's enough of that. Unread that dot." And that'll be it. It'll be over.
I think if you do know yourself and know your partner and your relationship and know your insecurities, there's nothing wrong with crafting your life to avoid situations you don't want to deal with.
Oh, well, I think it creates. I think there's both sides of the coin. I think it starts off with great intentions, and then one day it just has a weird curve. Now, did y'all see this? Go ahead.
I know she checks every now and then because she brought it up one day when she couldn't see it. It was just a glitch in the deal. But I think it's the same reasons I do. Like, it's all like, is it convenient? Where's he at? Is he at a place where I can make him stop or ask him to stop and get some range cubes or whatever random shit?
Did y'all see this?
I don't know.
So
what
Dave
it is.
Portnoy, this is the problem with being corporately funded. So Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy had to announce on Wednesday that one of their popular hosts, a guy named Ben Mintz, was fired from the company after he said a racial slur accidentally while reading rap lyrics on a live stream earlier this week. So he made the mistake of he was on a live stream. He was reading the rap lyrics, and as he went through the rap lyrics, I believe he used the N-word.
Get some yayo, double up, Nick.
Oh,
Reading rap lyrics.
hold
Yeah.
on, time out. All right.
If they got Papa John, they can get anybody. That's all. That's the only truth I have in life. If they got Papa John, they can get everybody.
What do you think about it, Spoonie?
I mean, you can see him knowing his life ended right there. Like, you can see it on his face.
I don't know. I think he finished the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he finished the song. I don't think it was an uncommon occurrence necessarily for him or for Barstools in general. Did you hear about the Barstools deal?
But he tightened down on everything, right? Because he was trying to go into a bunch of different states with his Barstool betting.
No, I think they sold. Didn't they sell out?
I don't know.
So do you know what the terms of that deal was? $600 million.
Let me look. Something crazy.
Plus, I think he still has
Good
a little
for him.
equity,
Good for him.
but now it's governed by a board. So,
Corporate owned.
Yeah, it's corporate owned. But anyway, go ahead.
400 million.
400 million. Okay,
Still, though.
go ahead and hit play. And I think he sold out too
Barstool's
soon.
parent company, Penn Entertainment, forced Portnoy to fire him. The entire Barstool team was against this. Barstool CEO Erica Nardini and longtime talent Dan Katz said that he made an honest mistake. Mintz tweeted this morning, I made an unforgivable mistake, slipping on air while reading a song lyric. It's not an unforgivable mistake, it's just a normal mistake. I'm sorry. The only thing that makes a mistake unforgivable is when people are unforgiving and jackasses. He clearly did not mean, he wasn't calling somebody the N-word. He was reading a lyric.
Never let me slip, because if I slip, then I'm slipping.
He said, I meant no harm. I've never felt worse about anything. I apologize for my actions.
Real quick, what the hell is this content Ben has been making? What is this?
I don't know what this is.
Truly sorry and ashamed of myself. Honestly, we get more abject apologies in American culture for somebody accidentally saying the N-word while reading rap lyrics than we do from actual murderers and rapists in our society. It's an amazing thing. Penn acquired 36% of Barstool Sports from the Chernin Group for $163 million in early 2020, and they bought the remainder of the company for an additional $388 million this past February. Portnoy said that the parent company made the call to...
Can y'all get me this Yeti, please?
Yeah,
can.
but I feel like you are a closet Ben Shapiro fan, Sohail.
No. Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, I saw this, but the relevant points are right here, but keep going.
Fire Mintz over concern the incident could jeopardize regulatory gambling licenses across the country. How? What does that have to do with regulatory gambling licenses? Exactly. Penn paid a lot of money for Barstool, said Portnoy. They have to make the best decisions to protect their business. I trust and respect Jay Snowden, who's the Penn CEO, and he's doing what he thinks is right. Doesn't mean I'll always agree, but he deals with things I don't have to think about.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
They believe there's a chance a lot of states could pull their
episode.
licenses because of that. That's nonsense. That's corporate cowardice by Penn right there. I feel bad for Portnoy in the sense that, he made a business deal. Once those strings are attached, though, the strings are attached. And that is a stupid and ugly situation, obviously. Okay, other controversial comments getting people in trouble.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
A person named PK Subban, who is apparently a hockey commentator of some sort, he got himself in trouble the other day. Why? Because he made a joke about Lizzo. You are not allowed to joke about Lizzo. She's one of the great artists of our time and also the most beautiful woman alive. So here's PK Subban getting himself in trouble.
Hold on.
So that was it on the Barstool thing, though?
That was it on the Barstool thing, but it's. I mean, it is pretty relevant. But this is a funny ass joke.
Very impressed by their forecheck, their battle level. Big game for pack a lunch. Listen, maybe they need to pack a Lizzo size lunch.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
People got
You don't think that's funny?
I just saw a thing where it was like, if Lizzo's such a strong and empowering character, why do women get mad when you say you're just like Lizzo or something? Or like, you kind of look like her.
yeah,
Kind of look like Lizzo.
yeah. So what's the deal there? Why are you getting mad? Spoonie, you should compliment your wife. Say, man, you got the real Lizzo glow going.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay. Well,
'Cause
all right, keep going. Let's see.
mad. So the good news for PK Subban is that he's black. So they want to accuse him of racism. If a white person said it, then they accuse him of racism. But some Twitter users were very upset about all of this. The 33-year-old athlete joined ESPN as a hockey analyst last fall. He hadn't addressed the controversy so far, nor should he, because there's nothing wrong with saying Lizzo-sized lunch. She is a literal fat activist who made a show on Netflix about how fat she is. Is she not fat? Are we supposed to pretend she's skinny? Her whole point is that she's fat and beautiful. He didn't even say that she's not attractive. He just said Lizzo-sized lunch. Apparently that's
talking so
controversial.
fast.
Amazing what
So
now is
fast.
controversial. The weather is warm.
'Cause he's got it on
Florida, but
1.25.
Let's be real. It's all
No,
over
this
warm.
is actually
Here in Florida.
slowed
That'd be
down.
Pool days with the kids and lots of grilling in the backyard. Yes. The last thing you need to be doing when you're getting ready to host guests is driving around worrying about where to refill your propane
hold on.
grill tank. Yes, I've done this.
Fast
feel
forward
like
through
you-
this commercial. All right, what's the next chapter? Hold on. What's the next chapter? Gas stoves.
Gastos.
Hold on. Go to the next chapter.
New York, San Antonio.
Okay. Go to San Antonio.
You know they got some big old women down in San Antonio.
Yes.
That's I'm quoting
Charles Barkley.
Yes. Okay. I need them to know.
An arena in San Antonio that had been converted into an emergency shelter for migrant children. Thousands of boys were sleeping on cots as the Biden administration grappled with the record number of minors crossing into the United States.
Spoon's
without
not
their
listening.
parents. The Biden administration has
hit
refused
pause.
to do the
Hit pause. San Antonio is the part where this gets interesting. This is what I wanted to truly discuss. Okay, now this is greatness, and I don't care who you are. This is the motherfucking American dream, and every one of these motherfuckers, including Ben Shapiro, are soft for saying it's not. Do you know what? Have y'all heard this story?
I don't.
Was this the bar that's getting pushed out?
No.
Oh, out of San Antonio. That's
No. Well, San Antonio is the content, but I was wondering when I was going to remember why I wanted y'all to watch this video. So, they now the wave of migrants that are coming over, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess there's a bunch of unaccompanied minors, and I don't know how old that is. I mean, I guess in children to teenagers, but several sponsors. Like Spoonie, you could be a sponsor. Did you know that?
No.
You can get some of them kids, them little migrant kids.
Can't imagine how happy my wife would be if I brought home more kids.
Well, I think the government cuts you a check too. So the government cuts you a little check. They write you a little check. And then guess what you can do with them kids? You can work them like they're your own. Do you work your kids?
Oh, you've seen my wife's Instagram. It's all kids just doing work.
Did you have to do work? Mm-hmm. All right, check this out. Let's watch.
Shelter for migrant children. Thousands of boys were sleeping on cots as the Biden administration grappled with the record number of minors crossing into the United States without their parents. Because the Biden administration has refused to do the thing that the Trump administration did and keep families together. So instead, they decided to just release a bunch of minors into the interior with no actual guardians. That ended up badly. Miss Brandmiller's job was to help vet sponsors. She'd been trained to look for possible trafficking. In her first week, 2 cases jumped out. One man told her he was sponsoring 3 boys to employ them at his construction company. Another who lived in Florida was trying to sponsor 2 kids who would have to work off the cost of bringing them north. Within days, she noticed one of the children was set to be released to the man in Florida. That's despite notifying the Department of Health and Human Services. She emailed the shelter manager. A few days later, her building access was revoked during her lunch break, and she was never told why she had been fired. Over the past 2 years, according to the New York Times, more than 250,000 migrant children have come alone to the United States. Thousands of those kids have ended up in punishing jobs across the country, working overnight in slaughterhouses, replacing roofs, operating machinery in factories, all in violation of child labor laws, according to a recent Times investigation. All along, there were signs of this explosive...
Spoonie's offended.
Probably not for the reason that you think I'm offended.
Go ahead.
So tell me what you're offended about.
I'm not offended by any of it. I love it. What are you offended about here?
The only thing that I'm offended by this whole process is all the kids that they've lost track of. They're probably being sex trafficked somewhere, and that's not what he's talking about right now.
You said you let out an audible ooh when you heard that there was some kids having to work overnight in a slaughterhouse.
No, it was when he said he was getting them for his construction company.
Yeah.
That is not the same as taking a child in to raise them.
No, it's even better. They'll come out with a skill set in life that they can go earn a living with.
My kids will too.
Do what?
My kids will too. But they're being taken care of and loved like children. That's not like the same as being like, hey, you got to work in the slaughterhouse and go back here, go to sleep. You don't know that those folks are raising them.
And you don't know that they're not, though.
Yeah.
Like, all that's been said so far is there's people putting them to work as they sponsor them to stay in the United States.
That one dude said they have to pay off the cost of them coming north.
That's right.
That's exactly what they do to all the Filipinos in the Middle East.
I understand
we
that.
pull your passport.
No.
You got to work it off. You can go back home.
Emery wanted a $500 bat. She had to work the $500 bat off.
Mm-hmm.
What's that got to do with me?
That dude didn't pay for the cost of them kids coming north.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He had to pay off the cost of him getting them up north.
I think, well, that's fine. Maybe I misunderstood that.
I think it's a hasty assumption as far as exactly what the circumstances are. I would say there's maybe concern there, but it's not.
They've lost a bunch of kids. It's been brought up on the news.
That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about kids getting sponsored and going to work.
So this lady brought it up. There may be concern, and they revoked her access.
Yeah. The Biden administration did a jam-up job on that one. Like, hey, they might be working these kids, and the Biden administration's like, good, my grass needs mowed. Bam. Cut it off. Go home, lady. The fact that they're outraged that kids that came here for a better life, you assume they walked all the way across Mexico to come up here and play Xbox? And you think in your heart of hearts that wherever they go, wherever they end up, that these families are just going to be loving and coddling them for like they're their own kids?
Yeah, I don't
regardless if they have a job earning a wage?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I mean, it's the same. I don't know. I've had 2 friends that were adopted, so I know that's not always a picnic either.
I just think, here's what I think. I think, one, we need to qualify it with the age of the kids. Like, I need to know the age. You can't just say blanket statement, yada, yada. Because I started working when I was 11 years old. Best thing that ever happened to me. Absolute best thing that ever happened to me was working when I was 11. How young were you?
11.
Yeah, so 11 years old, we started working. Best thing that ever happened to me was learning how to work, learning when to show up, how to be consistent, right? So kids are coming here for a better life. They're not getting put into a family that's going to put them in a room with a tablet and say, here you go, kid, best of luck. You know what I mean? They're getting put into a role where they can earn money, whatever that is, learn a skill set, whatever it is, okay? And that's not the American dream. What is?
I mean, that's how I look at it. It's like, I think we have a false idea in America about what you're guaranteed, and you're not guaranteed anything, right? Other than your life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And that's it. So if you're over here with the opportunity to work, you
right
know,
off the bat,
like that's all of life. You're going to have to, if you want something, you're going to have to go work for it. No one's going to hand it to you. And so, oh man, you didn't get to grow up with someone holding your hand saying, oh, I love you. You know, I hate that for you, you know, but life happens. Life sucks in a lot of ways.
You just walked across Mexico.
Unfair.
You just walked here from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
What a fucking blessing to get to go earn a living. You're going to make U.S. dollars and have a skill set on the other side of it.
So, like you said, there's a lot of missing context. You don't know if those kids are getting paid anything for it other than the ability to, like, eat at their place.
Which is what you got paid as a child.
That's correct. But I mean, you don't know a lot of stuff about that. Like it goes the other way too. Like, you don't know if they're being mistreated. You don't know, like,
it's hard for me to imagine somebody learning a skill set being mistreated.
You don't think there are children
and that's also
that are
very
in
relative, because nowadays mistreated is someone yelled at me for not doing as good as I should have at the job.
All right, so what about a kid in China making Old Navy clothes?
We're not
all
in
day?
China. We're in America.
I know. I'm asking.
Why are we talking about China though?
Is that mistreatment if a kid's in a sweat factory?
On what's
no,
going
I'm wearing
on in
those
China.
clothes right now, and I love them. They fit well. They fit nice.
I get it.
And,
like, I'm sure my shoes were made by.
And that Chinese kid in the factory in China will one day rule the world because they ain't no bitch.
Well, I don't think they'll rule the world because
if they were in
they've
a
got other
capitalist
problems.
If they were in a capitalist country, one day that kid will rule the world because they ain't no bitch.
If they were in a capitalist country, yes.
Right. So we're talking about a capitalist country. You get to come to America. Day one, you don't know the language, but you get put on a roofing crew, and you ain't even strong enough to get you can't do nothing but hand up shingles to the guys on the roofing crew. Are you going to be better off in 5 years than the kid that was handed a tablet, still don't know the language, and told, sit in here in the air conditioning.
You're loved.
You're loved. We love you. You're loved. Who's going to be better off?
I mean, I think you're trying to create like an artificial worst case of both scenarios.
I don't think there's a worst case.
You don't think you can love somebody and teach them to work hard?
Okay, you go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, nice big city, robust city, as a unaccompanied minor, living in a family in a house with 47 other unaccompanied minors with no job. And when you walk outside and you look around, you don't see any opportunity. You see a bunch of those, what are those little zombies that are bent over, what are they called? The Walking Dead over in Philadelphia. That's what you see.
I don't know what that is.
Do you think they're better off than the kid that gets put on a roofing crew and knows how to do roofs in the same town?
Does the kid get to learn how to read, get to go to school?
Do you need to know how to read to put on a roof?
No.
Okay, so do you think the kid that gets put to work versus the kid that gets put into a home of 40 people that doesn't get put to work, in the exact same town, seeing the exact same thing, do you think the one that has the skill set to put on a roof at the end of 5 years?
What'd you just pay to have 2 roofs put on last weekend?
We paid $5,000 a roof.
$5,000 a roof. So $10,000 you paid out for 2 roofs.
Yeah, of a crew of 4 people.
So people with skill sets
got paid
because there's demand and they had the ability to supply and apply their skill set to something you needed.
But there's a world where now even this guy who claims to be a conservative thinks that kids working and earning a living in America is a bad thing.
Yeah, I I don't think that's a problem with that. I think it's the assumption that you're going to take them and just make them labor in your labor force, your inside house labor force.
Yeah.
While your other kids that are American born are going to school and doing American things, and your kids, these kids here, are your labor force. You're extending.
It's a generational thing. Remember, Braxton, you said pursuit of happiness, and there's a reason we have, education mandates in this country for children, and basically the next generation.
If you're treating those kids,
All right, hold on, time out. Pull up Google Marlin, Texas. Marlin, Texas graduation. Pull it up right now. This is Flint, Michigan of Texas right here.
This is the education standard.
This is the education standard.
Mandate.
Pull up Marlin, Texas right now. Marlin, Texas graduation. This is a town I drive through all the time. Braxton drives through all the time. Ryan's house, y'all we were in Marlin, Texas. Ryan's house was in Marlin, Texas. What happened there? They had to postpone graduation because only 5 seniors were eligible. No, just pause it. It doesn't matter. There's the headline. They had a class of 33 that only 5 could graduate from. You tell me who's going to have a better shot at life right now. A kid that can put on a roof right now, spent the same 4 years of high school learning to put on a roof, or the kids that spent the same 4 years in high school and couldn't even become eligible to graduate.
But they met their education mandates.
They're going to give them an extra month, and all is going to be cured. All 33 will walk after an extra month of school after 12 years failed them.
What do you think, Braxton?
Well, that's what I mean as far as I think we have a false perception in America, in the world, about what happiness is, about how you're guaranteed anything. So I'm better off because I get to go to school and there's a government holding people around, my guardians, accountable for making sure I'm not truant. I'm actually going to class. I'm hitting all these arbitrary STAR test results versus
I get all that. I tell my kids the same shit.
Set.
The STAR test don't mean a motherfucking thing in your life. You tell them all the time.
Every one of these kids that couldn't graduate, okay, they would be better off if they had a skill set now.
I don't disagree with that. I wish we had trades back in school. My dad went through the trade program. He came out of high school with a fucking 4-year education.
Then why are you worried about
And it's the same reason he can go to all 50 states right now and test out as a master electrician because of that original education he got.
So
you can't take that away. I can't get it.
Are you worried about the migrant kids that are getting put to work because they're not getting enough hugs and Skittles?
No. Okay. What I'm saying is you just have to make sure. If it would be the same as your kid. If you're putting them into a system that's the same as our adoption system, anything like that, where you just got a kid that can't take care of himself, you have to have some checks and balances that just make sure that the kid's not just being sold into slavery.
Well, like what he said about age, I think, sure. You shouldn't be just a blanket statement that it's a perfect system. But in theory, if they're given the opportunity to work, and it is as simple as that, they're given a roof over their head, they're given, food, water, shelter. And that's all you really need to survive. And now they're getting a skill set which will allow them to thrive in a company that will reward the person that's willing to do the work. I think it's a good thing. I agree that there's lots of nuances that would have to be looked at, but
we're going to ensure the
at
government,
a base level.
We're going to ensure the government watches after that.
Bro, I'm not saying that's the right answer. Luke, I'm telling you right now. Every time my kid's like, "Oh, I got to be at school," or I don't get a free pizza party because I'm not at school every day for 6 months. I'm like, fuck that system, fuck that school, because all of that's about them just trying to get funding. The emphasis is all on the wrong thing.
Time out. At what point will you put your kids on Furman's crew and let them shuck shingles all day? At what point? At what point will you say, "Hey, kids, for the next 3 weeks, you're gonna be working with Furman every day"?
I don't know. I don't know what they.
Will you ever turn them loose on Furman's crew?
Maybe, yeah. Same as I'd turn them loose on any other crew. I don't think that's a skill set that.
Hold on.
I trust Furman. I trust Furman as a person.
Every other crew ain't Furman's crew.
No, I'm talking about every other trade. I trust Furman as a person. I would let my kids work with Furman.
Yeah, but you go work with those guys that did Granbury. That took months to not finish Granbury.
I wouldn't
put your kids out there with them. Or you can put them with Furman, who did 2 roofs in one day.
Yeah, of course I'd put them with Furman.
Right. So at what age will you allow your kids, what is an appropriate age for them to go out there and shuck shingles up out of a dump trailer up to the next
I don't know. And not at Deke's age, where 8 is too young.
Age.
I don't know, 12.
Okay, so 12. So now we got 12-year-old kids, migrant kids coming up here, and you're saying it's good enough for your kids to do, but it's not good enough for them.
I didn't say that. Like you're again trying to create a false argument. Like I'm just saying there has to be something that ensures these kids aren't being sold into the sex slave trade.
They're not being sold, kid.
I mean, whatever it is,
they're not
like
being sold.
That's
there are people out there right now,
right,
that are like, I'm going to take on children that aren't mine.
But you don't like.
They're like, give me 3 good 15-year-olds.
Right.
I've got some chicken shit I need shoveled, and I couldn't have kids myself. I'm getting older.
Right.
Bring
so
me
that
some,
would be
I'll
that would be what that would be an
to
adoption.
That's right.
That would be foster parent or adoption. The same thing that other foster parents do.
That's not what's happening. I don't know how they're vetting these parents. I think you'd have to pass a background check. But they're
right. But you agreed that there has to be something, some kind of like.
No.
You can't just be like, you know what, you're a child predator. We're going to go ahead and give you 5 kids.
Yes, but I'm saying they're telling them on the front side. Right? I'm going to put them on the work on my construction crew right now. I'm going to give them a job tomorrow. That's what we're going to do. Give me whatever age you think's appropriate for me to put them to work on a construction crew tomorrow. I'm going to take that many with me. And the very first thing you're going to have to do, kids, is work off my transportation costs to get you up here, right? And people are like, oh, the travesty. Fuck that. You are getting a skill set from day one. Matter of fact, I could see the other side of the argument, which is they're taking jobs from people that are citizens.
I don't see that at all.
Blah, 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 blah. I could see the other side of that argument. Like, why wouldn't you go into the inner cities and work the kids that are there that need jobs? Yada, yada, yada. I could see the other side of that. But I don't see the argument of, go back to Ben Shapiro whining about this. I mean, this is just a crazy argument that homie's
Growth in
having.
the labor force and warnings that the Biden administration ignored or missed. According to the New York Times, how Xavier Becerra, head of Health and Human Services, has retained his job is beyond me because, quote-unquote, veteran government staffers and outside contractors told HHS, including in reports that reached Becerra, that children appeared to be at risk. The Labor Department put out news releases noting an increase in child labor. Senior White House aides were shown evidence of exploitation, like clusters of migrant kids who'd been found working with industrial equipment or caustic chemicals. They're taking like 14-year-old kids who were crossing the border illegally, and then they were shipping them off to guardians who ended up being, contractors with acid. As the administration scrambled to clear shelters that were strained beyond capacity, children were released with little support to sponsors who expected them to take on grueling, dangerous jobs. Amazing job, Biden administration. Just an excellent, excellent job.
All right,
250,000 migrants.
He doesn't care at all about
Ben
this dude, and he just cares.
Ben
Yeah, I don't think
Shapiro
he
is
cares.
being a whiny little bitch.
I don't think he cares.
Just like he always is. This is a fucking asinine argument. Good for those kids for getting to a job in this economy, especially. Good for them for learning a skill set. I mean, 14-year-olds? Shit, I was a savvy old veteran at 14. Spoonie, how old were you when you started working?
I don't know. I've been sweeping my dad's shop as soon as I can remember it. He'd just take me to work, and that's what I get to do.
You know those days where you just been doing like lawns all day and you're just dirty? Like you just got that glaze over you, just caked on, just dirt, dust, leaves, crap, grass, all of it. Mm-hmm. At that point, you should have days of that.
Yeah.
Just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you're out there making money.
That's it.
Or maybe you're getting the place to live for free because you came from a country where people are getting their heads chopped off, and now I had the opportunity to have food, water, and shelter every day.
Supposedly you needed asylum. It was so bad. And now you have 3 hots and a cot and a job. You'll have a skill set at the end. As soon as you turn 18, you'll be able to roll on out of there and go do your own thing.
Start your own business, go hire out, do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever you want to do. Good on you on being blessed enough to make that happen. And this whiny ass dude right here trying to thumb his nose at the administration, which I can see that. I mean, it appears everything was pretty transparent. Like, hey, yeah, send me some yard guys. Yeah, I do sheetrock. Send me some sheetrock guys. Spoonie is in disagreement, but it's okay.
I mean, I think this conversation is so case by case on what the individual
but
child is.
I don't think the government can manage it. I don't think they're the best person.
I
Right,
agree
but
with
I'm
that.
just saying
They're definitely
between what Spoon's saying and what you're saying, like there's agreements there. It's just what about the specific child being worked in a factory for 12-hour shifts and then being forced to go to school and
That's right.
suffering at school and having to do because there is still the school mandate.
That's only
so.
20 hours. You got 4 hours of sleep. 12-hour day at the factory, 8-hour day at school.
We're talking about a child.
I mean, I'm talking about somebody that's a little bit sleep deprived, but other than that, living the American dream.
And that's what I mean. It's like maybe that's not ideal. Maybe it ain't the best. Maybe it ain't,
But there's a place you came from that I'm assuming was worse. And since it was worse, make the best of it. But I don't think the education system. I think if they're going to cut anything out of the scenario, cut the education out.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. I mean,
I don't disagree with that. I think it has. I think everybody has the right to learn how to read and basic stuff.
Whoa, no, it ain't no right. That's a privilege.
Well,
a
privilege, call it whatever it is. But I think that's what you provide with that if you cut that out, because I don't believe that our education does a great system of doing that anyway.
You take 10 straight A valedictorians, okay? I'll take 10 of these kids, and we'll take 10 years and we'll see who gets where.
Yeah, I was not a straight A student. I graduated with C's.
You take 10 valedictorians that.
I don't think that's the same. This is, again, a false argument.
It's
You're trying to take it. Absolutely is. You're trying to take the most extreme example to try to make your point. When I'm just saying,
not the most extreme, but the best of what the alternative system is.
Yeah, I don't think that's what you're trying to say.
It's in the data that a literate society is a better society. It's not an arguable.
I understand all of that. You take 10 valedictorians. I'm going to take 10 of these kids, okay? And we will race for 10 years with our companies, and we'll see which ones of the valedictorians are CEOs and which one of the 10 kids are CEOs in 10 years or 20 years or whatever it takes. Okay? Statistics will probably back up that if you go to Fortune 500 companies and you looked up all the CEOs, they probably all got the best education, right? Maybe?
Maybe.
Right.
I think your C-level executives probably that's true, but not the people that started the companies, founders, CEOs. Hold on. That's the kids you're talking about.
And then you got Elon Musk. And then you got the guy for Apple.
Elon said, "I didn't go to Harvard, but the guys that worked for me did."
That's right.
Like your C-suite executives will be going to Harvard.
That's right. I'm telling you, I will take these hungry, eager to learn, curious kids over the ones that had a silver spoon in their mouth.
Well, and sometimes it's not even that. You don't even have to be that hungry, just willingness to show up.
Oh, no. I mean, could you have been valedictorian?
Maybe.
Nah, there's no maybe. Could you have been valedictorian? If that would have been your goal.
If that was my goal, absolutely, I think I could have.
Yeah. I mean, it's like.
But that would have been a commitment. I wasn't willing to sacrifice whatever that would have taken. Didn't care about it enough. So, no.
Yeah, that's right. And
it's a choice.
Here. It's like knowing what I know about education now. Like the other day, it's getting close to the end of school, had a fishing trip, kind of got popped in on me. Boom, crappie are there. We limited out, by the way. Phenomenal time fishing. Yeah, we caught 75. No big deal, Spoonie. It's okay. You weren't there, but I was. And I said, when can you do it? He said, Friday. I knew that my dad won't go fishing during the summertime. It's too hot. He very rarely goes in the early spring because it can be too cold. Whether one day you have 90 degrees, the other day you'll have 40 degrees, so you can never get a commitment out of him because he don't know which it's going to be. But I knew this day you can set your clock by what the weather was going to be, and it wasn't going to be too hot and it wasn't going to be too cold. So I got him in agreement, and then I just said, you know what, Emery's not going to school. She's not going to school.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't go to school. We go fishing, get ready to send her back to school the following Monday. She's like, Dad, you got to send a note. And I was like, okay, write a note. We went fishing, signed it. Gave it to her. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna like we don't value this. You're doing great at school. If you were not doing good at school, we'd have a different conversation. But you're doing great at school.
That's the same reason I took Deke out the other day. We went and spent the whole day together, and he doesn't ever worry about it. He does great at school. Zoe worries about it all the time. I'm like, those rules don't matter because that STAR test that they just butcher them with for weeks and months studying for a stupid test will never translate to anything in their life.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man.
It's the state required.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to learn about it. She's almost there.
Emery took it this year. She made hundreds on all of it.
If you have a pulse, you're going to pass it. Like that's
our whole school district came out. They said there's going to be a delay in reporting because they needed to relook at the grades, which whatever the verbiage was basically they're going to grade on a curve now. So enough kids didn't do great. I'm like, why did we spend months studying for this?
They did the same thing when we were in school. We had a standardized test.
Like,
you had TOS probably.
I had TOS.
We had I had
it's
TASP
all asinine
before the TOS.
Yeah, I used to ace that shit too.
I mean, and so it's like if that's the standard of education, which is truly testing nothing, why is that
Bingo.
a comparison for that's the better alternative to
what these
the
kids can
opportunity
have.
to work?
I'm not saying it's a better alternative. I'm just saying you have to protect kids
I agree, but
Protect them from
if
what?
we're just talking in theory,
from your uncle touching you.
Okay, so we got to protect them from pedophiles. All
That's
right,
it.
so
Like, that's all I'm saying.
All
Like,
right,
you
yeah,
got to
yeah,
protect them from the Jeffrey
I
Epstein.
get it. I get it. We got to not.
Nobody posited, as he said at this table, that work doesn't benefit kids.
Bro shaped it into
I said
an
at
argument.
this table.
Oh, Benny boy shaped it into an argument where they're trafficking kids. The word trafficking should mean it's like slang word for fucking. It's like when a white person uses the word thug to describe a black dude. You know what I mean? It's kind of got a connotation. It's like that's trafficking has that same connotation.
well, he's trying to form together two completely different things. Because
Yeah.
one, we're talking about human trafficking, and the
Yes.
other, we're talking about they got to work all day.
They
if
gotta
want
work.
food, water, and shelter.
Yes,
Wah.
that's
Like you're gonna have to deal with that your entire life. Why are we,
So it started 4 years early for you. And
okay.
that's life. Started a lot
Life ain't
earlier.
fair.
Life ain't fair.
Because like 18 is such an arbitrary number too. Because it's like if you go back, say medieval ages, if you're 10 years old, you're going to war, bro. You're getting a sword and you're gonna go march out front. You might not even have a sword. You might just be front lines for the people in the back.
Kids were like drummers and stuff, right? They were
Maybe.
supporting.
but
not like Spartans. You know what I mean? It's like if you trace it back, it's become an arbitrary number that that's the age. Same as like 21's another age, 25 for rental cars. Like it's just numbers that have been. This is the new number. When my mom was in high school, I think the drinking age was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we've developed these numbers where okay, most people are mature enough at this point, but it's still arbitrary. So 14's too young. Too young for what? Because most people aren't doing it. You're getting the opportunity to work and the opportunity to build a skill set that can pay you for the rest of your life. And if that's not the opportunity to go chase your happiness, I don't know what is.
Spoon, what percentage of the world is pedophiles? Caught and uncaught.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, what is it?
I don't know. Google that, Sohil. We're gonna worry about the people that are signing up for construction workers and slaughterhouses and
No, I think it's real simple. You do a background check like you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I do think all these kids have the right to learn to read and basic math.
I think we
And a right. It's a privilege. I'm like, there's nothing. Why is that guaranteed to you?
I didn't say it. That's fine. However you want to. That's
You know
fine.
what I mean? Like, why should you?
But they should have the privilege of that. They came here for a better life. They're getting
they
it
wanna
through
work
learning their
for it.
skill set. But they ain't going to be. If you
I don't
want to
think
be a
anyone should
better
give them that
roofer,
textbook for free.
teaching them how to do basic math is going to help them.
Maybe. But I'm
You got to
saying
learn how to
like,
figure squares. You got to
okay,
learn
so
how to
on
read
the job,
read
you
the
learn
label.
that. On the job, you learn that. But
For
why
sure.
why should someone hand them a free book, which isn't free? It costs something, that explains whatever basic principles you think should be given to them.
So, what are
Education's a
rights?
privilege.
What are your inalienable rights?
Breathing oxygen.
Okay, nothing else.
No. Why would you be guaranteed anything else?
So no right to free speech, no right to
If you take it at a
Live
basic
a free life.
human functional level, you need shelter, food, and water.
But those aren't rights.
But none of those are rights.
Those are
Spoon,
functions. Those are what
Right.
you need, and you essentially need nothing else.
Okay.
So I'm guaranteed my right to breathe oxygen. Nobody can take that away from me
Somebody can.
without physically
Sure they can. Yeah, we can.
physically restraining that.
Or just
But-
stop in the process.
Right, but Spoon, you in this world that you have right now, okay, you have American kids that can't pass the test.
I agree with that.
You have American kids that can't read, write, and do all this. And you say it's a basic right to have the opportunity to learn, right? What is stopping the migrant kids from having the opportunity to learn once they're on American soil, working a job, okay? What is stopping them from having the opportunity to learn? Because they don't
Nothing.
get to go into the education system
Well, they'd be
that is
required to
failing
bar
American
laws.
kids. They don't get to go into that education
No,
system.
Yeah, nobody said that education doesn't need to be reformed, but they would be required to bar laws to go into that system. They can't just be 12 years old here and not go to school, right? Because you have a requirement to go to school.
Spoonie, we're talking about what you said. We're not talking about what the law. We're talking about you said they should have a right to learn. And I'm asking you, what is preventing them from doing
nothing.
that?
I didn't say
once they set foot on the good old USA, what's preventing them from doing that?
So do you think there's people abusing this system?
Define abuse. Do I think? Okay, so do I think that there are kids making less than minimum wage? Less than minimum
Yeah,
wage.
I mean that happens on farms too.
Less than minimum wage right now. Migrant kids making less than minimum wage in the system they're talking about. I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. Do I think that it is fair or unfair? I think I'm going to take it and I'm going to compare it to the alternative, which is being in whatever origin country they needed, because this is the argument that they had to come here for asylum and making $4 American versus whatever they could make in crazy inflated Argentina pesos, right, that are worth nothing, right? I'm gonna take the $4 American
Well, and what you're arguing is a pure capitalistic theory.
Yeah,
It's the best product will always come to the top. So if the alternative is a third world country where you can get chopped up, sold, whatever,
you're making money that has no value.
Mm-hmm. So that's your alternative versus, oh man, I'm making less than, again, an arbitrary number set as what the minimum wage is. Right. And I'm too young. I'm not given this right to learn. It's like capitalism again will prevail if allowed to run its course. If you can't communicate, understand the basic math needed to figure out what you need to do for a roof, you're not going to be worked. Or they're just going to teach you what you need in order to perform that function because you're more valuable as an asset than you are just someone, bumming off. So it doesn't make sense for someone to go want to sponsor one of these kids without giving them the basic resources they need to do that. And that's the education that you should need. But that, again, is an opportunity to work. You're not guaranteed a job.
And I'm, look, it is what it is. I mean, the alternative is not, you won't let me say go sit in a room with a fucking tablet. So whatever version of love and happiness you believe these kids are entitled to once they step on American soil, whatever that is for you, versus this Ben Shapiro triggering moment where kids actually have to go to work, and maybe they're working for less than minimum wage. Maybe they're working in less than ideal conditions, let's just face it, I've worked in less than ideal conditions most of my life. When I worked in a fucking drilling rig, I lived in fucking man camps. I've you know what I mean? I've shoveled condoms out of fucking septic tanks into a bucket at 13 years old. Like, what is ideal conditions? Tell me what is ideal in your mind. Then I'm gonna take the less than ideal conditions with a job versus whatever I'm seeking asylum from, assuming that it's not all roses down there, because I don't know what that is. They made the decision to come to America. Mm-hmm. I assume they made the decision to come to America to have the opportunity to work. Why are y'all mad that they're working? You know what I mean? You prefer the alternative, which is come to the United States and hang out, draw a little welfare. I mean, what's the alternative? What's your utopia like for these kids? College education? Do we just send them straight to college?
I mean, the juxtaposition of your arguments, the $75 million bill a year right now that New York's spending on hotel rooms for migrants.
I don't care about any of it.
Like, that's what you're talking about. People that aren't working, they're just in a room, right?
No, I'm asking what you think the ideal is for these kids.
I don't know that I know the ideal for these kids. Like, I didn't say I did.
I can't help but come to the conclusion that, we're basing this around, okay, if you're going to go learn on the job and be forced to do the pointless standardized test American education system we have right now, it's learning on the job while having those bases covered that you need to, having trade education, if that's going to be a mandate, and not force these kids to sit in the classroom and learn bullshit.
I think that sitting in the classroom is a terrible solution for a lot of kids.
I think both of us agree on that. So I don't think that's the argument. The argument we're making is that we want that.
That's one of the biggest arguments I have for my wife bringing our kids back home school. Like, they're just wasting hours a day.
When all kids are different, all kids learn different, all kids need different.
But that's the problem with our system is they're all different. Right. They all need to learn different, and they're all got to learn the same.
Y'all know my parents are both in the system, and my dad's a special ed teacher. He has seniors. He doesn't give a shit about the test scores. It is what it is, and they are all special ed and basically mostly migrant kids, or poor, impoverished kids who have always worked 12-hour shifts and then gone to school and everything. So all he cares about is teaching them how to open a bank account, balance a checkbook, run a cash register, things that they need to do. So in the system, there are these actors, but if the system in general, it's failing so hard, incorporating that trade or just like real life education that we all agree kids should learn, be it on the job or forced in school, I think that would be a vision or a little step towards that quote unquote utopia.
I don't know if there is a utopia. I just know this.
Yeah, I say
no
that.
such thing as utopia.
Our contractor is a fucking beast, and he got amnesty. Reagan gave him amnesty, and it was wild. It's a wild story. He essentially had to go sneak back into Mexico because once they got amnesty, I guess there was some rules. They couldn't go back to Mexico for a while, and so he'd have to sneak into Mexico to visit his dying mother. So he was swimming back and forth across the river, even though he was a U.S. citizen. But that situation, it's like, I mean, how much money you think Furman owns?
Oh, dude, he is the textbook example of the American dream. All of it. When I like, and all these people, like all these, they're taking our jobs, peoples that fucking whine out there.
Yeah,
like they ain't none of them gonna go work like Furman.
Nope, none of them.
That's the
Not-
first
not
thing
a-
you have on
not
the
a-
podcast.
not a
Ask, on average, how many hours a day do you work?
Oh,
You know?
Furman,
and
but
for the entirety
All
of your
them.
life.
Furman
All of
works
them.
all of them. He called
That's the
me
point.
at like 9 o'clock the other night. He's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, Furman, what's up?" Like I'm laying in bed with my wife, and he's like, "We just finished our second roof."
yeah.
I'm like,
So,
"Holy shit, dude!"
so he finished 2 roofs in a day, but also not only that, like when he came back the next day to clean up, he's like, "Hey, where's the key to your lawnmower? Is it in it? I'm gonna go ahead and mow all this shit. These guys are working. They're having to do something, but I don't have nothing to do. I'm gonna mow all this shit." And I was
Yeah.
like, "What shit are you talking about?" And he just like mowed a pasture. You know what I mean? Like because he was there on the site. He didn't get paid. He didn't bill extra. None of that. He's just like, I'm standing here. There's nothing for me to do. I seen Corey's lawnmower when we were doing the roof. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out. But that guy right there, the very bottom, how much real estate you think he owns? He owns a mobile home park. He owns several rent houses.
I think he told me one day, like it's like
30.
He said, yes, it's like 20 or 30.
30 units. No formal education.
And I guarantee they're cash purchase.
He don't owe a dime on any of them. Not a dime. No formal education. He went and paid cash for a new high country dually just because one day, and he has a work truck, a brand new 3/4 ton Ford. But one day he drove by the dealership, saw it, and said, "You know what? I want that." Went in there and got it. Paying cash for a house from us, essentially. You know what I mean? Just this amazing human being, and overall came from absolutely nothing. But at the beginning, when he first got here and he was working, he worked for a rancher that gave him an opportunity, that taught him, you know what I mean? And that rancher was an asshole. He was real mean to him, but sponsored him so he could get his, so whenever the amnesty came, he signed off on it so he could get his citizenship. And you know what I mean? He has not a lot of good to say about that guy right now, you know what I mean? But the guy signed off for him, and as soon as he got his citizenship, he was able to, boom, I'm going to go work for somebody else. And I mean, he's done very well. So, I mean, those cats, that's why I would take 10 of those type of human than I would the valedictorian. I mean,
The willingness to work. That's it.
yeah, great on you. I know it was a commitment to make straight A's and all that, but I'll take this rugged ass life experience over some straight A's. I'll take some rugged ass life experience over some theory, and that's just life. So, no. That's why I put that in there in the podcast. But fuck you, Ben Shapiro, being a bitch. Put that on TikTok.
I think that should be the quote of the day.
I look. I knew when I first started watching this. I was like, this ain't that shit. And I can't remember why. I think somebody sent this to me. But anyways, that first part about the whatever the rap lyrics, but this part right here, some shit. But anyways, we gotta wrap this thing up. Emory's got our last softball game, guys. We're gonna be making an offer here pretty soon, so y'all can clip this out if you would. Braxton, what do you think we ought to do for the people? Spoonie, you ready to get in the guru game?
I was born ready.
You're born ready? Braxton, you ready?
Yeah, you got to get ready when you stay ready.
Okay, so here's the offer I'm going to make to y'all, the roughneck real estate fans and followers. If you want to do real estate in Texas, if you want to learn real estate in Texas and you want to learn from us, we got a licensed mobile home installer, licensed septic installer, master electrician. We got Braxton, who is taking his sales training very seriously, negotiated thousands of transactions at this point in time. If you want to learn from us, here's the offer we're going to make to you. Okay. We're going to do it for $10,000. We have very limited spots because do you want to train a bunch of people?
Absolutely not.
Do you want to train a bunch of people?
Nope.
Okay. So we're going to do this for $10,000. This is going to be to pay for this content, by the way. We're going to do this for $10,000, and here's the deal we're going to make with you. It's going to be 18 months, okay? So you're going to get 18 months, and at the end of 18 months, if you have not made back your money in real estate, in other words, you haven't assigned us a deal from our training on marketing and negotiations, if you haven't done a deal yet, we're going to give you your $10,000 back. So it's got a money-back guarantee. That's number one. Number two, we're going to allow you to pick what you want us to teach you, okay? Now, it won't be you personally getting to decide. It'll be the group of people that end up in this group. We'll get to decide what we want to teach you, and we will shoot a course that you will get. We will shoot it right over there, right off screen. So if you want to learn sales, negotiations, marketing, whatever it is, y'all will pick every single month, and we'll shoot a course around it, and you will get that course. So that will come to you, okay? The next thing is we're going to form an LLC, and if you want to flip a house, okay, we will flip a house with you. It will be in Texas, wherever you're at in the country, that's your business. We will flip a house with you in Texas, and you will get the full case study of how that works, because how do flips go, Braxton?
A lot of different ways.
A lot of different ways. Spoonie, how do flips go?
All the ways. Like there's everyone's different.
So, if a flip goes bad, where does it go, Spoonie?
Rental portfolio.
Where do you put yours?
Owner finance or rental portfolio.
Owner finance or rental portfolio. So you're going to get exposed to the true wealth bidding principles of owner finance and the rental portfolio. You're also going to get all the bookkeeping support, which, I mean, Braxton, if it wasn't for bookkeeping, where would our business be?
It wouldn't be a business.
It would not be a business. If you can't account for it,
It'd be in the middle of an audit.
if you can't account for it, it doesn't matter. So you will get good, clean books and everything else with our partnership LLC, and we will go flip a property with you. If it works out and it flips and we make money, good. We're not even going to get the lion's share of that money. You will get the lion's share of that money, but we will run that project start to finish. You will have some input, but not much. Okay. We're going to show you how we do it. We will flip that property. If it doesn't work out, it goes in the rental portfolio. At the end of 18 months, we write you your check back for the $10,000. And if you want to keep doing deals with us, we can keep doing deals. If you don't have to. That's it. But if you do make money in that 18 months, then hey, that's on us. You know what I mean? Like good for everybody. But the reason why I'm putting an 18-month window on there is because shit, right now it's hard to source a deal, a true deal. And then
we might do 2 or 3 deals with that person in a year. Like you never know what'll turn over. The market's weird right now.
The market is weird, but we want to show you how to acquire real estate. And if a flip does go bad, we don't want you to be hung out there in limbo, out of money, not knowing what to do next. You're going to get access to our private capital. You're going to get access to our network of people. You're going to get access to everything that we have available. And you're going to get to learn how we sourced it all. You're going to get to learn how we put it together. You're going to get to learn how we do it. Now, I don't want to. How long have I been tortured by the idea of stepping into the guru space?
A minute.
It's been a long time.
4 or 5 years.
It's been a long time. But there's one particular human being that going to get credit for this. And the simple reason is because you just heard our offer, and I've never heard his offer, although he is awfully critical about what he says about other people who do this. Now, I'm critical of him too. I think there's some value in some of it, but I also believe that, I mean, experience-wise, is there a deeper group of experienced people that you've been around?
No, I mean, there's a couple of girls that operate at our level out there, but they ain't many.
I'm not talking about operate at our level, because there's plenty of people that kick our dick in when it comes to volume. There's plenty of people that kick our dick in when it comes to a niche deal. But do you know anybody that has Airbnbs?
Yeah.
Just Airbnbs.
Oh, just Airbnbs? No.
Do you know very many people that have just owner finance? You know very many people that have just rentals?
No.
What about flips?
Maybe.
What about wholesale?
Not many.
What about commercial?
Not many.
What about land?
Not many. Or sub twos.
Sub twos. The old magic sub two.
It's always a little mix.
And we got all of those.
We got all of those. We got a big mix of all those. We
Fixing
run
to
them
do
all.
a big commercial deal.
We're fixing to do a big commercial deal. About the only thing that we're not in, we manage some, but we don't own any of self storage. You know,
There's
hotels.
time for that. Oh, not hotels.
We
We can't compete in hotels.
Well, a hotel's a business. It's not really a real estate
that's what
play. It's a business play. But we're going to extend that offer. So he'll walk down on us. I think the tea got to him.
Sounds like it's raining outside.
Could be.
It could be raining outside. Let us know in the comments if it's raining where you're at.
Like, you know, so it's funny you said that while we're waiting on Soho to come back. I don't know if you're trying to wrap up, but he's not there to push the button. So
Let's keep going.
I don't think like so it's funny, you know, we joke about natural curiosity. The thing I'm always curious about is learning something new, which is why we got into septic. We couldn't find electricians, so I started up the company again so we could go do Coleman, do all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody, and this is why I sold to one of my best friends, Home Realty, taking that, or whoever we're at now, John Jacobus, whatever it is. Jacob and Big Mike, I put that together. I said, look, Big Mike's going to sell this, but Jacob's going to back him up. I got one of my best friends to list his house through y'all the other day because I don't think there's anybody in this trade that works harder than us. I just don't think they can.
That's true.
Like, I don't think they want to do it as hard as we
That's true.
can, and I don't think they give up as much.
Well, I mean, look, guys, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not, we talked about happiness on this deal for a while now. I'm not, Braxton, yesterday, you saw me relaxing. I was in my PJs. I had a full day of fun ahead of me out at the lake, and I was just sad that I couldn't get a pontoon boat and just drive it completely out of gas. That's all I wanted to do. I told
Just
Braxton, wherever
you stalled, you stopped.
No, I just didn't want to be on the. I didn't want to be in the. I didn't want to be vibing. I didn't want the loud music. I didn't want to deal with the wakeboarding boat. I didn't want to do all that. I just wanted to get my kids, my family on that pontoon boat and cruise around and look and see what was going on in the lake. Just really, I was going to go look at some real estate. But that's what I was going to do. You know what I mean? I was just going to cruise around. And it's a holiday weekend and take note of some things that I was going to pay attention to of who was at the lake and who wasn't at the lake, and maybe pull up land glide and, you know what I mean, scout us our next lake house. Mm-hmm. But they wouldn't have known the difference. Nobody would have known the difference. They'd have thought, well, we're on a nice cruise. Kids are got some wind blowing through them, and that's just what I live for. We got a new dumpster roll off system. We're going to hire somebody to move those dumpsters around. Has anybody got to move a dumpster? Who's moved them?
You.
I just won't let it go. I just can't.
You need to let go of them parts so I can fix that cable for you.
I just can't turn loose of it. I just want to be. I'll be shuttling dumpsters all over the state. Just piggybacking them. I got Biggins with me. We're just in the truck, eating at Texas Roadhouse and shuttling dumpsters. I love it. Same energy and effort goes into every project. Like if we're working on something and we're remodeling something. I mean, we're all right there in the middle of it at some point. So, you know, we will work that hard on your projects. We're launching this. And the other thing is that this is the big thing. How many dollars we got? What have we got? $4.5 million. Mm-hmm. We are the end buyer. We are the end buyer on any deal that you source. So if wholesaling is, if you think wholesaling is going to solve your problems, we are the end buyer. You source a deal, we can buy it. We can stroke that check. We can close that fast. Spoonie, can we close with title issues?
Yep.
Can we solve the title issues? Is there a title issue out there that we can't solve?
I haven't found one that we couldn't solve yet. No, it's not. There's some that we didn't solve because we're like, there's 745 errors for this $3,000 lot. That's not worth my time.
Yeah.
But we could have solved them.
What about litigation? What about the downside of real estate, having to litigate for property that we already own and have a loan on?
I think some people are going to learn some lessons that aren't going to be us on that.
So we're currently litigating 3. We're still in 3. Okay, so we're still in 3 lawsuits where properties that we've bought and had either contract for deed, which one of them, I don't know. I don't know what. The title will probably stroke a check on it as soon as we make it an issue for them. We just hadn't got that far into the process. But, yes.
The big one.
Huge fucking title claim. Huge title claim.
It's going to be a massive title claim. Thank God for having a good lawyer.
Oh God. I like the
I'm gonna hug Andrew
when we talk about experience, like our year, we're gonna make, well, we don't know how it's gonna go, but in it we will have an insurance claim going for us, and not a title insurance. This is going to be an errors and omission policy that's going to get banked. Have you been following this? Spoonie ain't been keeping you in the loop.
Jacob's been keeping me in the loop every time.
So
I'll fill you in a minute.
So, well, I'm filling in right now. We got a title claim where normally a title claim is just going to cover your purchase price, but since the title company was negligence, we're getting a claim against their error and omission, which means we had it sold 2 different times. So we will get a payoff from the error and omissions if it goes well. They'll settle with us most likely, and so we'll get over and above the title claim. Here's the crazy part. What do you think is going to happen at the same time?
Don't know.
Oh, this is the best part.
This is the best part.
By far the best part.
This is by far the best part. So at the same time, the title policy, which is separate, okay, is going to petition the court to release the lis pendens, which would then mean that we own the property free and clear. So we're going to get an errors and omission claim and the property if they release the lis pendens. If not, then it's done and done.
And there's a few other things on there we got to solve, but
that's whatever. That's all irrelevant. In my mind, that's irrelevant.
Oh, I think they are too.
But either way, these things happen. We deal with them. We're in it every day. We're negotiating every day. We're working every day. We're going to make that offer. We're going to clean that offer up next week. If there's a ton of demand, the price is only going to go up. I don't even have a way for you to pay, but you can go to roughneck2realestate.com and drop it down in there. But that's the offer we're going to make. We got to get out of here. Spoonie, I got to pee.
Yeah, I do too.
These teas are running through me, so get us out of here, Spoonie. Shut us down.
Hey, when you're ready to learn real estate, come find us, because that's what we do.
You hitting them with that Deion Sanders? I'm not hard to find.
Oh no, man, dude! Look, nobody fucks with Neon Deion. Like, he don't like to be called that, but Prime's a man. Like, he's a legend.
Have you not heard this? Deion Sanders, you can't recruit other players, other teams' players. Can't do it. But he's got a big social media presence, so every time he's like, if you want to come play for the University of Colorado, I'm not hard to find.
That's hilarious.
Hey, there you go.
We're going to get out of here. The rain's making us all got to go pee. Look us up, enjoy some iced tea, and hit us up on Roughneck Real Estate channel. Like, subscribe, and hit up Corey's OnlyFans. See y'all later.
I do have an OnlyFans. If you enjoyed this video, please, for the love of God, let us know in the comment section. Also, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you know every time